Proof that Adam was black. Now, this is the thing that you need to understand. The image in the background would be your Neanderthals. This image here would be what Adam looked like. So we can understand that Cain lost his melanin because he got marked by the Most High. You see, we've been used to being taught by the wrong people. The Gentiles, just like scripture said, that Yahuwah was going to give his word to the Gentiles. And all they had to do was believe. But then the Gentiles whitewashed history. And so a lot of people think that Cain was cursed with dark skin because most people view being curses as something bad from Satan, not understanding that Yahuwah also curses those who are disobedient to him, like his true people. Now, this is a great article that talks about how the people who made Cain's mark dark are the same people who promote white violence. You see, this was a conditioning of a people, mainly the people who were dark. And it makes more sense that Cain would be turned white with fear after killing Abel or by being touched by the Most High. So if everybody was dark, it makes sense for Cain to be white. Now, to be totally honest with you, Seth's line had to mix with Cain's bloodline because we know back then the angels fell with man, all mankind, to the point where he had to send a flood. And out of all of these people that we think are so holy, only Enoch actually was taken up by the Most High. So out of this whole generation, Enoch was taken up and walked with El, and so did Noah. So at this point, it wasn't his bloodline more than it was the fact that the Most High saw him as righteous and perfect. Now, just because Cain was marked with a white streak does not mean that everybody turned white after him. Because remember, everybody was mixed up. And that would kind of explain why Noah became albino. So you see, back then, color really didn't matter because all colors were mixed up back then. But this complexion could only survive in hot climates, the horns of Africa, where creation began. But we still have the seed from Satan. And this seed comes from the fallen angels. And yes, it has mixed with Cain. And yes, it survived the flood. Stay tuned for more.
Do you realize that the most racist scientific community ever were 19th century anthropologists? They're the ones that set up the race and this, and white male humans were at the top of the evolutionary ladder, and blacks and everybody else were lower, still evolving, closer to the apes, and all of this. This was going on for coming out of the 18th century into the 19th century. My point is, in the 1990s, now that we can do genetic tracking and things,
Okay.
now we do genetic tracking,
Yeah.
the world found out that Europeans are between 1% and 3% Neanderthal genetically, and Africans are 0% Neanderthal. So in the 1990s,
Yeah.
research papers started coming out talking about how creative and imaginative the Neanderthals must have been and how they used tools. A complete facelift of the Neanderthal that started at the time they learned this.
Proof that Adam was black.